Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
Shen is in the air. Shen is down here in South Florida at the Adrienne Arscht Center in Miami and the O-Ren Theater at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts in Fort Lauderdale. And with us today is Pia Norris. She's a spokesperson for Shen Performing Arts. And welcome, Pia.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. So we want to know everything about Shen.
Well, there's a lot to be known. It's an absolutely magnificent performance. And just a little brief background. I'm actually based in New York, but I'm down here too. And I'm involved with the press center in New York, Shen Promotions International.
Oh, okay.
Shen itself it's the production company. So I'm with the presenting group in New York.
Okay.
And I'm down here a lot as well, and have the pleasure to be here in the studio with you today.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you. And now, after just hearing you, I realize that I perhaps have been pronouncing it incorrectly. It's Shen. Shen.
Well,
okay.
I'm from Finland, so my pronunciation might be a little off as well.
No, it sounds terrific to me. I was saying Shen, and now I realize that that's not correct.
Do you know what it means?
No, I don't.
The beauty of divine beings dancing.
Okay.
Which kind of says something about performance itself.
Sure. And now I haven't had the pleasure of going to a performance myself. I hope that changes soon. But from the clips I've seen, and of course from the beautiful ad that you gave us, we can see that the performance does involve dancing, traditional classical Chinese dance, along with a live orchestra, costumes, animated backdrops, classical Western and Chinese instruments. Is there anything else you can tell us about the performance itself?
Well, there's actually a lot. I mean, Shen has become or is the world's premier classical Chinese dance and music company. And the mission of Shen is to revive 5,000 years of civilization and traditional Chinese culture through dance and music.
Okay. Fascinating. And so that they bring legends to life on stage. This is just wonderful animated backdrops and musical fusion of East and West. The performance itself, I see it runs approximately 2 hours, including intermission. Is that right?
About 20 pieces, and they're like story-based dancing. So it's a very unique performance. First of all, the story-based dances, they draw from the pages of history.
Okay.
And as you know, China has a long history, so there's a lot to draw from.
Sure.
And so it depicts classical legends and different diverse ethnic traditions, and also universal themes, which is it makes people from all kinds of backgrounds and cultures be able to, it resonates with them because it really draws on universal topics and themes.
Right, okay.
Again, it's a performance that they tour around the world, and irrespective of your age, background, walk of life, it really resonates with people.
It sounds to me that this would be fabulous for kids too, I would think, right?
Oh, it's wonderful. They sit there completely mesmerized because it's very entertaining. I mean, it's really hard to describe. It's packed with action, a lot of courage and humor, and it really embodies the wisdom and virtues of ancient China as well. And Robert Stromberg, who is the production designer for the Avatar movie, in Hollywood, he said that it's like seeing a movie and a piece of theater in one night. So it's very unique, and obviously, like you can see from the ads, it's breathtakingly beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely magnificent.
Very colorful.
It's like an explosion of color.
Right.
And it's really hard to describe. I've seen people, when you see the opening act, people just go, It's just it's so breathtaking. I mean, I've seen it. I don't even know how many times. Every year I see it many times. It's extraordinary. And not only that, it's also dynamic. It's very elegant and refined. And then you have these very dynamic pieces, full of energy. The whole production is really full of positive, beautiful energy. And it's also entertaining, really entertaining. And also educational because it draws on the pages of history. So there's a lot to be learned from the production as well. So it really brings everything from, the beginning of 5,000 years up to modern day. So it also depicts some current day issues that are going on in China.
Oh,
so it's very, very educational on many levels.
Right.
And what I really, and many people say after they see the performance, it's not only just something beautiful you learn from sort of on a superficial way. It's actually very deep. It's very inspirational. It's uplifting, and it's very moving.
Yeah.
It's really hard to describe. One actually has to experience it, and it's not like a normal performance where you get feedback. Oh, it was beautiful. It was interesting. People are very moved often. I've heard the most interesting feedback, audience reviews after people have seen the performance. For example, there's one where Nathaniel Kahn, he's an Academy Award nominated producer. He said, if heaven is the way we saw it tonight, count me in. And that's just one of the many feedbacks or reactions people have after seeing it. I think it touches people's souls, if I may use that word in a way, because it draws on these universal themes that you find and principles that we find in the world throughout different cultures. So it really resonates with people's core deep within.
Right.
So that makes it very special, very unique, and very profound. So people take away something very special after seeing the performance.
Right. So it's a real multi-sensory performance.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it sounds wonderful.
And going back to the kids, like you said, the children, there's a pure in here, and they just gravitate to it because it's like they really perceive the energy that's coming off the stage. And it's absolutely wonderful. I remember my husband's mother, it's her actually 90th birthday today. So happy birthday, Gina.
Happy birthday.
But anyway, what I wanted to say was she's in a wheelchair, and I remember when I wanted to take her to see the performance the first time, she didn't want to because it's a little hard for her to get out of the house and to walk. But she decided to come. And I remember afterwards she said she was ecstatic. She was so happy, and remember she's saying, "Oh, I want to see the show every year until I die." So she was very excited. So what I'm trying to say is like anything from children to elderly and everyone in between will really get something very special and will enjoy it immensely, I believe.
Oh, great. It seems that we see Shen Yun down here in South Florida, specifically around the holiday season. Is that is Shen Yun a holiday performance? Is that just coincidence? Can we see it any time of the year?
That's a very good question. It does seem like they're always in Florida during the holidays.
Yeah.
But it's not a holiday performance per se, but they start their tour in December. So actually Florida has the great advantage of being one of the first one to see the new production because there's a completely new production every year.
Okay.
So even though you've seen it one year, you will have a new surprise and something new to look forward to and enjoy the following year.
Right.
So that's one of the. It tends to be here in January in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale.
Now, are there different companies performing this simultaneously around the country?
Absolutely. It started with one in 2006, and now it's like 4, or I believe might be going on the 5th.
Oh, okay.
But so you have it's actually touring the whole world, and each year Shen Yun tours over 100 cities in over 30 countries around the world. So you have a couple of the touring companies touring around the U.S. and then one in Europe and then Asia. So it's extraordinary. But something that the listeners might be interested in is that it actually cannot be seen in China. So it tours across Asia, but not in China, because the very traditional, authentic culture that Shen Yun is reviving cannot be experienced in China today.
Why is that?
Well, it dates back to, as you might know, China used to be known as the land of the divine or the celestial empire, and people believed its culture to be really divinely inspired.
Okay.
And it was a very spiritual culture, and it permeated throughout society in all and every way. And as you know, in 1949, when communism took over in China, it was a foreign concept, completely ideologically opposite to what traditional Chinese culture stands for.
Right.
So in order for, the atheist ideology and power structure to take root, they systematically started to destroy the spiritual culture of China, so causing many of the related arts and the rich traditions to be lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, what a shame.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is why in 2006, a group of Chinese leading artists came together in New York. It's New York-based, made in America, which is amazing. Came together with the common desire to revive this spiritual, authentic, traditional culture of China. And so they set out to do that. And so it's a very important mission at the same time, because, the Chinese culture has a lot of wisdom, ancient wisdom to it, and draws on a lot of universal principles that I feel are very important to the world today, especially today.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're here with Pia Norris, who's a spokesperson for Shen Yun.
Promotions International.
Right, yes, I'm sorry. And we're talking about Shen Yun, their performances from January 6th through the 8th, 2017, in Miami at the Adrienne Arscht Center for the Performing Arts. Looks like here we have Friday evening performance at 8, Saturday is a matinee at 2, Sunday. They also have a late performance on Saturday at 8 and a matinee again on Sunday, January 8th at 2 p.m. If you're interested in tickets, you can call the Adrienne Arscht box office at 877-949-6722. Again, that's 877-949-6722. And then on January 30th and 31st in Fort Lauderdale, Shen Yun will be shown at O-Ren Theater in Broward Center for the Performing Arts, Monday, January 30th at 7:30 p.m., and Tuesday, January 31st at 7:30 p.m. You can call the Broward Center for the Performing Arts box office at 954-462-0222. Again, that's 954-462-0222. You can also go to www.shenyun.com. I'll spell that for you. It's SHENYUN.com, and find out all the wonderful information there about this performance. And please don't miss it, because I'm not going to. I've been saying for years that I would like to get to see Shen Yun, and I'm not going to miss it this year. So, Pia, I noticed on the website, and this is probably interesting for our listeners or anybody that's considering going to the performance. It says all programs are family appropriate. Most venues encourage audience members to arrive 30 minutes prior to curtain. I guess, obviously, that's to find your seat and get comfortable and everything. But it says formal, semi-formal, or business attire is recommended as you would wear for a night out. So this is really a classy performance. This is certainly not, you're not just going to go down to the movie theater to just see in your shorts and T-shirts and sneakers. This is a night out.
It truly is. It's a magnificent night out. And I always say, and especially now as we're approaching the holidays, you know, it's the most beautiful gift you could ever give give someone, family, friends, loved one, colleagues. And it's truly it's a special occasion. It is. And so, yes. Absolutely. Put your best dress on. And you know, it's also when you see the performance, you'll see the costumes. They're exquisite. They're handmade, all of them.
Oh, my
gosh.
It's
breathtakingly beautiful. So it just sort of fits the occasion to be nicely dressed and really make it a special night out.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah. Make dinner reservations and make a whole evening of it. That's fabulous.
And we have, you know, many people. Actually, it's interesting because last year there were people who even flew in from other countries. There was a couple I spoke to during intermission, and they had missed it in Switzerland. So they flew in when they heard it was going to be, and I think it was New York I was then. They actually flew in. They flew all the way to the U.S. to see the performance because they missed it in Switzerland. So make sure you don't miss it because you're right around here.
Right.
And you know, Richard Wolff, who was the former vice president of technology at 20th Century Fox, he said, unbelievable. If you miss this show, you miss the best show.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, a lot of critics have seen it too. And what Richard Konema, who's a renowned Broadway critic, he says, I've reviewed over 3,000 shows since 1942. And he says, I will give this production 5 stars. That's the top. I've never seen anything like that.
Huh.
So it's really, it's a very, very unique performance. And it's something that, you know, make it a family night out.
Sure.
Or bring your friends. And I know many people who bring their whole entire family, like 10 people or more.
Right.
And we had one lady call not long ago, and she said, you know, I saw Shen Yun last year, and this year I want to bring my children or my grandchildren. She wanted like a whole group ticket situation because she was just going to bring the whole family along.
Yeah.
So it's, wonderful.
The show speaks for itself.
It certainly
Without a doubt, right?
And what we find too is that many people, once they come once, they start coming. We have a lot of patrons who keep on coming year after year after year because, again, as I mentioned, it's an all-new production every year.
Right.
So you'll see something entirely new the following season.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they start in December, they tour to about May. And if you have friends and family in different parts of the United States or other countries too, it's very likely that they'll be able to see it there as well in case they can't see it here.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. So even if they're in New York or what have you, if they're lucky enough to get tickets to see the show, they'll actually be seeing nearly the same show that we've seen down here in Florida.
If they see it during the same season. And a good way to find out about their touring, you know, their schedule is to go to the website, which is very easy to remember. I even remember it. Shenyun.com, which is SHENYUN.com. And there they have all the touring schedule for the season. So it's very easy to find out.
Good. Yeah, and they have this for the 2017 season. There is an all-new show, of course, with a live orchestra. And, of course, this would make the perfect holiday gift. Let me give that 800 number again for tickets and information. Now, you can call this particular number for either performance at the Adrienne Arscht Center or Broward Center. It's 877-988-SHOW. That's 877-988-7469. And you can get more information. There is video on there so that you can get a preview of what the show is like. And millions of people have seen Shen Yun. I'm just looking at some of these, some people have been saying. For instance, Cate Blanchett, Academy Award-winning actress, says it's an extraordinary experience, exquisitely beautiful. And Donna Karen, creator of DKNY, saw the show and said it's a mesmerizing performance reclaiming the divinely inspired cultural heritage of China. Now, is there any speaking in this performance, or is it all dancing and singing?
Well, that's a very good question. There are actually two bilingual MCs that in between the pieces will introduce the next, which is very helpful because it helps one put things into context,
Right.
So it's that's a very helpful feature, and it'll be in Chinese and in English. So it's good. You can learn a little Chinese at the same time, but it's bilingual MCs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, you need to have the Chinese in there because that's the flavor of the program for the evening, and it just has to be there.
That's right.
If we're lucky enough to understand Chinese, well, there you have it. But we also need the American translation.
Well, you already know something. What Shen means. It means beauty of divine beings dancing.
Yes, and that describes the show perfectly.
It does indeed.
Yeah. Well, we're just excited about having in Boomer Times in Senior Life this month on page 2. In the December issue, you'll see the full page ad there with all the information on the show dates and along with the 800 number there and a beautiful picture. Next month on the cover, we're going to be featuring a picture of the performance with a story inside. So we're very excited about this. Historic epics, timeless literary classics, and mystical folklore make up this world of deities and magic that Shen Yun presents in its performances. That's just, there's all kinds of things in this.
Absolutely.
In this performance.
Something for everyone. As I mentioned, it's entertaining, it's breathtakingly beautiful, it's dynamic, or you should see the male dancers. I mean, they lift the roof with their energy level. It's amazing. And the female dancers, it's like they're walking on air. They're so delicately beautiful. And then the costumes, and then it's very humorous. They have these fun, it's very funny as well. And again, what I really take away from it every time is how incredibly inspirational and moving it is. It really, again, it draws on these universal principles that I really think that resonate with people of all ages and walks of life and from different cultures. So it's very special in that way. It's just like a beautiful performance. It has so much depth to it, and people feel that. Many people feel really, really inspired and uplifted after they've seen the performance.
Right.
And again, it's like an explosion of beautiful colors. And here in Florida, we appreciate color.
Absolutely.
And all over the world, actually.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I, having not seen a performance myself yet, which will change soon, but I picture seeing the stage filled with colors and just sound coming from everywhere, and these exquisite creatures come on stage dancing. And is there singing involved in any of the show?
Yes. First, they have the orchestra. There are also singers, and also the
okay.
orchestra, which is very unique because they combine Eastern and Western instruments.
Okay.
So they have done something unprecedented. It's extraordinary. I was just not too long ago in October. They performed at the Carnegie Hall. The Shen Yun Orchestra performed their solo. I have never seen more standing ovations in my life. There were like 5, 6 standing ovations. People wouldn't even leave the concert hall. Unbelievable. I mean, it's magnificent. And another unique feature, which we haven't talked about yet, actually, I just remembered, is the interactive backdrop. So behind the dancers, there's this digital animated backdrop. So you'll see all these things change and move and characters, and all of a sudden you believe in the Mongolian grasslands, all of a sudden you're in the Tibetan Himalaya. I mean, it is just extraordinary. So if you have these exquisitely beautiful dancers and then this magnificent backdrop and then the orchestra, and it's almost like seeing a movie, a theater, a ballet, a concert all in one night.
You're right, yeah.
It's very, very special.
Yeah. Boy, that's just a perfect evening of entertainment, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So Yeah, you gotta. This is a gift for this planet, says Georgian veteran journalist Helena Apkadze. And this is something that everybody should get down to Broward Center for the Performing Arts or the Adrienne Arscht Center in Miami. Get your tickets now. Call 877-988-SHOW. That's 877-988-7469. And so Shen Yun is, Richard Wolfe, Broadway World says that a visual feast, this Shen Yun is a visual feast for the eyes, simply gorgeous stage magic, a must-see. And from what I'm hearing today, that's certainly the case. So you've got to go and see Shen Yun. Call 877-988-SHOW. And Pia, I understand that this show travels throughout the country. A lot of our listeners are from northern parts of the United States. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about the scheduling for future shows? Or I suppose they could just go on shenyun.com and get that information. Is that right?
Yes. Given that they tour over 100 cities.
Right. Okay.
I have a little bit of a hard time keeping track of the
sure
dates.
You do. I hate to put you on the spot like that.
That's okay. I don't know. But what I do know is that a fabulous way of finding out all the different dates and the cities mm-hmm. that Shen Yun will be performing at is to go to the website, mm-hmm. Which is Shenyun, SHENYUN.com.
Okay.
And also for all the Florida cities, you just do shenyun.com / and then FL for Florida.
Perfect.
So that's a way to find out about all the shows here in Florida.
Wonderful. Okay, well, Pia Norris, it was such a pleasure speaking with you today. And we were discussing Shen Yun. And remember, you can call 877-988-SHOW for tickets. That's 877-988-7469.